Hello world, it's Rational Pi, and we're back here today to talk about the P versus NP problem and how it applies to the prime factorization problem. And what that is if you take a number, any number, and you want to find out if its factors themselves are prime. That in and of itself sounds pretty easy. Well, you just find all the factors and then determine which ones are prime. However, when you're trying to put that in a code, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to take every single factor, which in and of itself takes you to go through a list of numbers, right, a for loop, and then it's going to make you do one more check to find out if those numbers themselves are prime, which means they're multiplied by only one in themselves. So the prime complexity, or the prime factorization complexity, is 2 to the n, because for every number that you check, you have to do another check, which is 2 to the n. And that is not a good complexity. And that's why it's also an NP problem. That's why we're talking about it here today. And eventually we're going to hope to get a working prototype of the prime factorization problem, but very much like we did with the traveling salesman problem a couple weeks ago. Now I apologize for not having these videos out every week. Last week I was down in Dallas all week, and hopefully you guys enjoyed the 2 videos I was able to post while I was gone. I loved making that irrationally censorship video with the baby food challenge. I do plan on doing that with some of my other videos, some of my old Let's Plays, and hopefully those will be pretty interesting as well. So let's just jump right into this. And what I wanted to show you here today is what's called the Sieve of Eratosthenes. And it's a way to figure out quickly a full list of primes. And this is what I plan on using to find out if a number is prime or not. Because if you have this list, and then you just say, okay, is this number true in the list? Okay, great. It's a prime. I don't know if that went over there. But anyway, I talk with my hands a lot, so you guys get the idea. Alright, so the Sieve of Eratosthenes. What it does is, and this is just the user input here, it's just going to ask you what number you want to find all the prime numbers between blank and blank. And we're going to create a Boolean array of the total of the amount of indexes is going to be the number that we're looking for. So let's say we want to find all of the primes between 1 and 50. Then we enter 50. The Boolean array is going to have 50 indices. Okay? We're going to set all those indices to true because as of right now, we don't know what's prime and what's not. So we're just going to assume them all to be true, and then we'll set them false as we go along. And that's what this this loop here does. It sets them all equal to true. We're going to create this counter here, and we'll understand why just a little bit. Now, the true meat of the Sieve of Eratosthenes is within this piece of code right here. Because what it says is you don't want to just go through every single number and figure out if it's prime or not, because then it would take a little bit more time. So what they've been able to come up with, and Eratosthenes I guess is the name of the guy, I don't know the history behind it, but if you take the square root of the number that we're trying to find all the primes from 1 to that number, if you take the square root, that's all the checks we have to do. Because what we're going to do is, let's say we start with 2, and that's what we're going to start with here in this I loop. It's going to start with 2. If you take 2 and then find all of the multiplicatives of 2, so 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, so on and so forth, obviously anything past 2 is not going to be prime because it's going to be 2 times another number. So 2 times 3 is 6. So anything 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, so on and so forth, they're all not going to be primes, and only the first numbers can be prime. Okay, so then we go to 3. So 3 is prime, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, so on and so forth is not prime. And that's what this does. It takes the number and it's going to multiply it by that counter, and that counter is going to be the multiplicative of what we're looking for, and then it's going to set that number equal to false. So we're going to start with I equals 2, and over here we have a nice Excel sheet that's going to demonstrate what it is we're looking at. Let's get back to sheet 1. So this is what it looks like before we get to the meat of the code right here. This is what everything's going to look like. Everything's true, everything's great. I starts at 2. We're going to check to see if the I minus 1th index is true or not. So I minus 1 is 1. Obviously that is true. Now 1, you can debate if it's prime or not. I'm not going to get into it here. But we do know for sure that 2 is indeed prime. And then we're going to say j is equal to I squared, which is equal to 4. J is less than the number. Obviously we don't want to go past that because that's the number, not the number we desired. and then j is going to be incremented by I times the counter, which basically means it goes from 2 to 4 to 6 to 8 to 12, so on and so forth. And then for every number that falls within this loop, we're going to set it equal to false. So the first number that's going to be nicked out is going to be 4, as demonstrated here. J is still equal to 4, and then j is going to jump up to 6. Now 6 is going to be false, and it's going to keep having every multiple of 2 going to false, which is going to end up looking like this. This is what's going to happen after that first full j loop. And then I is going to be increased to 3, and it's going to take out all multiples of 3 all the way down to 50. And then here's 4. Oh, but wait, 4 has already been checked off. That means nothing happens. We just skip straight to 5, which now we have some more falses in there. 6, nothing's going to happen because we have already determined it to be not prime. And then it's going to go to 7. Now the square root of 50 is about 7.07 if I remember correctly. So it's going to stop there. That's where the I loop is going to stop. And then what we're going to decide is to print out all primes that are less than 50. And it's going to be writ to the I don't grammar right. I don't understand which word that is, but anyway, that's fine. It's going to be to the console line. It's going to tell us all of the different prime numbers between 1 and 50. I added this down here, and it doesn't work yet, so I'm just going to take it out. So goodbye. All right, so let's do a quick test of it and see what it looks like. Hopefully, what's on here is going to be the same as what's going to be in our code. If it ever decides to run, that would be fantastic. So I must say, this January 2016 is going by really fast, and I just hit 75 subscribers. Really happy about that. Okay, there's our pop-up window. So we're gonna enter 50 to do a quick check to see if what I presented here matches up with what actually happens. So 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, 19, 23, 29, 31, 37, 41, 43, 47. Fantastic. It matches up perfectly. That means we have found all the primes between 1 and 50 without any errors or any problems to find out. Now, this code is actually relatively very fast. So if I wanted to find all the numbers between 1 and 10 million, it's going to move pretty fast. I mean, it's already in the hundreds of thousands, and it's going to hit a million just pretty quick. So it's going to be very fast. It's a very, very efficient algorithm. Now we need to try to figure out how to relay that efficiency to the prime factorization problem. And that's where the key is going to be. If we're ever able to figure that out, then hey, we might win ourselves a Nobel Prize for solving the PNP problem. But that's the key, and that's the idea behind the PNP problem. So I'm going to go ahead and end this episode here. It looks like it's already about 5 million. It's about halfway through, and that's 10 million checks. So I'm going to go ahead and end it here. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys are ready for this new series. We're going to be moving on to the next Millennium Prize problem before you know it. And I will see you guys in the next video. A like and subscribe is always appreciated. It really does help the channel out. Have a great day.